have an example. Sometimes you got to do it when people are telling you one thing, but you know what you saw, you know what you heard from the Lord, you know, and I think that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be living in the 1%. And that's all I have. And that's really, so fine. And that's for me. And what I like about what I've been learning about life is you have to find what fits you. You have to find out what you need to accomplish this year. What I may need to accomplish, you may already mastered. And what I may have already mastered, you need to work. So don't get fooled with these. Da 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 da, I'm loving it. Welcome to another road ride with Heim. That's what I'm calling this, right? Ride with Heim. And Happy New Year. This is going to probably air, next week or sometime. But Happy New Year. We made it. We made it to 2025. And 2024 was, like I said in the last video, was a foundational year. And I was talking with a friend today, and I was saying how it was just filled with so much emotions. And I think, how are you going to make 2025 different? I think that's the question that we always need to answer, is how are we going to do something different? And many of us do this New Year's resolution, and I stopped doing that. I stopped doing New Year's resolution last year, and I made a theme for my year. And last year was the year of action, and this year is living in the 1% and getting out of comfort. And what I was talking about living in the 1% was, you live in the 1% of life. You do stuff and you go the extra mile. You do stuff that other people may deem crazy. You do stuff that other people may say will never work. But in the end, you're in that 1%. You're in that small percent. Billionaires, millionaires, they're in the 1% because they either inherit money or they came up with an idea that people thought was so crazy. Apple, Steve Jobs, he lived in the 1% and he stayed out of comfort. I think the enemy to everything is comfort, because when we get too comfortable, when we get lackadaisical, we don't pay attention to details. We don't pay attention to the finer things in life, and we start to let one thing slide. And when we let one thing slide, another thing starts to slide. And so even though last year was the year of action, I let certain things slide. I didn't go the extra mile because I was not scared of what other people would think. I was just scared of moving past what I knew, moving past what I know. And so I think this year I have to tell myself, sometimes you got to do it scared. Sometimes you got to do it when you don't have the blueprint. Sometimes you got to do it when you don't have New Year's resolution that is not fit for you. That's why vision boards are so important. That's why really finding what's inside of you is so important. And then here it is. Once you know your theme, once you know what you're running with this year, create a plan so you stick to it. I think what I'm so proud, even though I didn't accomplish everything, I'm so proud that I stick to, I was disciplined enough to stick to what I said I was going to do in January. And though it may have not always felt like it, it surely was so important. So that to say, you just have to stick with it, and stick with it knowing that it's not always going to work out in the first quarter. So once again, and I'll be doing this with our podcast, Legacy Builders Podcast, I'll be breaking this down. But I've learned, last year I put myself into quarters of the year. So we're in the first quarter of the year. And so I have goals for the first quarter. And then now I have to create a plan to exercise those goals. Even though I may have an overarching theme for the year, live in the 1%, stay out of comfort, I have to realize that even though the goal is so big, I have to break it down so that I can achieve goals, I can see goals, because the human mind works. You want to see instant results. You want to see results in general. And so if you wait to December 31st, you're going to lose yourself in a way, and you're going to lose that focus, and you're going to get distracted because life happens. Yes, it does. Life happens. And so that's why the breaking it down into 12 weeks in the quarter, you can have the overarching theme and still focus on knocking out those certain things by the first quarter. So like for me, for the first quarter, I'm doing 75 days hard. I'm doing going to the gym, all this other stuff. I'm doing creating a schedule for podcasting. Now I'm adding or content creating. Now I'm adding multiple things. I'm vlogging now. I'm creating rides with Heim. I'm doing Legacy Builders podcast. I'm trying to grow that, even ministry-wise. And so I knew that I had to break certain things. So when am I going to record this? When am I going to post this? When am I doing that? Breaking that down so that when we leave this first quarter in March, going into April, I can say, okay, boom, those systems work, those systems didn't work. Now I can revamp it, because when you wait till the 31st to revamp it, now you're all into another year. And you have lost time. And what I've learned in last year and what I'm learning in my life, the season of my life I'm in right now, is that time is so important. Time is the most valuable thing you can have. Let me say that again. Time is the most valuable thing you can have. And don't you let things, people, jobs, whatever, waste your time. Because you can't get that back. And I've learned that you cannot get your time back. That's good. So, yeah, Rides with Heim. I'm gonna enjoy this series, but Rides with Heim and I don't know what I'm gonna call this, but yeah, we made it. We made it. We made it. Now, what you gonna do about it? It's good to cross over. It's good to get to 2025, but now we need to do something about it. And I believe you can do something about it. And I believe you're gonna have one of the greatest seasons of your life, but you have to exercise the vision. So, love you, family. Just had to do this Rise with Heim as I'm on my way back from Charleston. Had a good time on my way back to going away to Greenville, getting mentally prepared for that. But just had to have a quick conversation with y'all guys. Love y'all, man.